What's up in Happy Mental Push Up Monday, baby? We here. If this is your first time joining, my name is Andrea Fitzgerald. I'm an author, a speaker, and also a person really obsessed with personal growth and development. So what we do each week, we get in the gym and we do our mental push-ups because the most challenging and rewarding work that we will ever do is on ourselves. Ooh, excuse me. So, today, friends, we are going to talk about do hard-ish. You can fill in the blank there, do hard-ish. So, this was inspired by my good old-fashioned car, y'all. Not the one with no AC. Don't be out here judging me. And speaking of hard stuff, y'all, it's 11 o'clock. I'm tired, and I really don't want to do my mental push-up. But, hey, you know what I told you? I said I'm going to be consistent. And, yes, here we are being consistent doing our mental push-ups because we said we're going to do it. Here we are. But yeah, so this was inspired by my car last week. I was heading back from Charleston, and we go out to the car. We're unpacking it. We're packing it up, getting ready to head home. The car didn't start. So we called AAA. They come and they're like, your battery's completely dead. Mind you, we have just bought a battery 1 week before. Just bought a battery. And so they replaced the battery. We head home. All good. Wake up the next morning. I'm doing my morning routine. I write down my 45 to-dos. I'm like, okay, I'm getting out early. I'm going to knock out some tasks. I go into my car, my lights on. That's odd. So I try to start the car. And what do you think happened? That bad boy did not start. And then I say, well, you know what? I'm just going to jump it off with my good old-fashioned no AC car. And you know what? That joint was dead too. So here I am, no car. Neither one of my cars are working. So I call over to Firestone. I'm like, listen, AAA comes first. Well, let me back up. AAA comes. They say, well, listen, probably the reason it's not working is because you left your lights on. But I'm like, I know I turned them joints off. I know I did. So morning didn't go as intended. So we head to the park. We're like, okay. We're going to just, we had plans for this morning, get some things done, but here we are. So we head to the park, and we cut the car off, and you know what happened? It was like, I don't know if y'all remember that show. You remember the show where the car used to talk and stuff? That's what the car felt like, because that sucker turned right back on. It was like a movie or something. I was like, ooh, wait a minute, what's going on? So we realized that the reason that the battery kept dying was because that sucker was not cutting off. Like, the car wasn't cutting off. So we head over to the Firestone, and I say, listen, guys, I don't know. You put the battery in, and now I got issues with the car. And they're like, we can't do anything to help you out until Tuesday. Sorry. So I'm slick by hot. And so they say, well, what you may want to do is head over to the dealership and see if maybe it's something under warranty. And but I said I really need my car to get fixed. Like, I really don't have time to wait till Tuesday. So they were like, because your car won't cut off, this is Memphis, it may not be here when we come back tomorrow. So it's probably a good idea to take it home. But I was like, but it's gonna die, and I'm gonna be in the same scenario again. I'm gonna need a new battery. So he was like, well, what you can do is take your battery out, preserve the battery until Tuesday, until you bring it back. So I was like, yeah, I really can't wait that long. So I called Christina's stepdad. He gave me some pointers, and he said, you may not have to take the whole battery out. Just take off one of the I don't know what you call them, whatever, the charge, whatever, the little screw. He said take it off. So I go home, and y'all, it took me like 45 minutes to figure out how to take that off. I mean, I had messed up one of my little screwdrivers, so I ended up using a socket wrench. I get it off, but y'all, it was like hell getting that thing off. It was kind of hard. So I get it off, and I'm like, yes, I did that. I was hype, y'all, for real. So but as we start, figuring everything out, we did end up getting the car fixed. But I was like, man, this is like straight up a microcosm of life, for real, because that Saturday morning I literally had plans, but my car wasn't working. Like, life was happening, you know what I mean? And I think even sometimes, like, we want things to be copacetic, we want it to be good, and you have a plan until you get punched in the mouth, and then something happens. And so you kind of gotta, you gotta figure out what you're gonna do. And essentially, for me, the headline for me is that when we face these challenges in life, it expands our capacity. That's what I recognize. Like, cause I was like, dang, all these different things that I wouldn't have learned if I had not experienced this. And so I just want to share with you 3 different ways that I think that in life, when we face challenges, it does expand our capacity. And so as I was thinking about that, I think something else that kind of inspired me, I think that for me right now, like, it just feel like it's coming from every angle. Like, not every, but a good portion, a majority of areas in my life just feel so overwhelming right now. It just feels like, it's like, dang, it keep coming, you know what I mean? And then I think of just about different people in my life are just like, they're just dealing with so much right now, you know. And as much as we would like for life to be certain ways, sometimes it's not always like that. Like, sometimes, man, life is hard, man. For real. I mean, I'm so grateful to be here and I'm so grateful to be alive. But dang, sometimes it just be challenging. And so I think the silver lining of it is it does expand our capacity. And so I just want to share with you 3 ways that I think that I felt like that situation, in particular, just life in general, when we face challenge, how it does expand our capacity. Because you may be dealing with something right now, you know what I mean? And so I just want to share, and hopefully it just add some value and just give you a hopeful mindset with whatever it is that you're dealing with during this time. So I think the first thing is that when you are faced with challenges, you find creative solutions. You know what I mean? Like, like in this situation, I had to figure out, like, I had to preserve my battery. So I think I had to find a way to make sure that happened, you know, because just leaving it as is, it wasn't going to work, which I think leads to the second thing. You acquire new skills and knowledge that you may not have had before. Like, I didn't know that there was all these things that went into a car, a battery, all these different things. Like, I had looked on YouTube. My neighbors showed me how to, like, test your battery to see if it's good. Because I learned how to use a battery test. I learned how to use jumper cables the right way. Listen, I learned how to do that. Can you believe that? Yeah, but yeah. So I mean, I just acquired new skills and knowledge. And sometimes when you're faced with different things, like, you literally have no choice. It's like when your back's against the wall, then you not only figure out ways, but you acquire new skills that you probably wouldn't have learned if you weren't in that situation. Like, I feel like if something would have ever happened to my car again, in terms of like my battery or something like that, like, I would know what to do. But I only acquired that skill by being in that situation. But I think the last thing, which I think is the most important, and the most important piece of this message, is that you always have more in you than you can even imagine. Like, more in you you have more capacity in you than you even know. And I think sometimes, like, until we get into a situation, like, we don't even realize how strong we are until we have to be. You know what I mean? Like who knew that I could be a whole mechanic out here? You know what I'm saying? Who knew? But because I was put in that situation, I figured it out, right? And so I think sometimes, like, even for ourselves, like, we limit ourselves, and we tell ourselves, like, we create narratives in our mind of what's possible and what we can do. You're like, oh, well, there's no way I could ever do that, or this is that, you know. And so we limit ourselves because of the narratives that we have playing out in our mind. And so there is always more in us than we can even envision, even imagine. And when we face challenges, that's exactly what it does. It expands our capacity and shows us how much more that we have. So it even made me think about, like, how, you know, before I started my business, and even like writing a book and stuff, I thought about it for 2 years. You know, I thought about it for 2 years. I got a coach, and it was that simple. She said, get out there, let's do it. It was more in me than I can even envision, you know. And that's really the beauty of challenges. Like, they show us how strong we really are, if we're willing to lean in. And so a lot of times we have these, like, decision points. You know, Dr. Precious always talks about, like, when, you know, we have these decision points that we can make all day, every day. But sometimes we choose the easier thing. You know, there's nothing wrong with it. Like, we're humans. We love the comfort and we love the simple things. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like our brains are wired that way. But I want to challenge you to choose the hard thing. Because it's how you grow, it's how you elevate, it's how you get better. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes, like, we have these opportunities all day, and sometimes, like, we don't lean into the hard things sometimes unless we have to. Or maybe not speak to you. I know sometimes I'm kind of like that because I'm like, oh, well, got to figure it out now, so I'm going to do it. But we have these decision points all day. So just lean in. That's my message for you today, is that there is always more in you than you can even envision if you take the opportunity. Like, take that challenge, lean in. What's that one thing for yourself, that challenge that you have possibly been putting off? Like, what is that thing where you're like, oh, I've kind of been taking the easy route here? What's that conversation you need to have? What's that thing you need to do that is gonna instantly take your life to the next level if you lean in and you do it? So I just challenge you all, lean in, do the hard-ish. It's how we grow, it's how we elevate, just like my car. You know what I mean? It expands our capacity. And there is so much more in you than you can even imagine and even envision. So that's my 2 cents for this week, y'all. Get out there this week. Let's do those mental push-ups. If this video add value, share, subscribe, like, all of that. I believe in each one of you, and as you as you take on this new challenge, I want you to keep that rookie state of mind. Well, what's that, Fitz? I want you to remember the level up is in the losses. Problems are a privilege, and yes, you might be new to this, but I know you're true to this because you're in this moment right now, and I believe in each one of you. Let's get out there this week and let's do those mental push-ups, and I'm out.